if you're the type of person to be they start off the plan, they make progress for several weeks, but then they fall off, then this video is for you, because I'm going to tell you exactly why this happens a lot. And this happens a lot to most men out there. They would make progress for 2 to 4 weeks, and then they would go back to square one. They would do the same thing again, make progress again for another 2 to 4 weeks, and they would go back down. They're like, oh no, I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna, eat off plan here, and then they go back down. And every time you just eat off plan, you just end up losing progress. Whether that's for 1 week, 2 weeks, it doesn't matter, because you're still gonna be, losing the progress. And then hence it's gonna take you even way longer for you to get to your desired goal if that cycle keeps repeating again and again. So when it comes to losing fat, you must not eat off plan, especially as you get leaner, because as you get leaner, margin of error decreases. So when it comes to cutting, guys, you need to make sure you do not eat off plan, and you create yourself the meal plan. Have that meal plan, eat those same meals, eat those same foods daily, because this will really help you to, not feeling like, eating off plan if you just do it that way. Whereas if you just eat variety, it's going to increase your diet fatigue, and hence you're more likely going to be falling off the plan. If you don't have structure, then how do you expect yourself to lose fat? Of course, it's going to be harder for you to lose fat. Another reason why you make progress for several weeks and then you go down is because you rely on motivation instead of discipline. Once you start your cut, right, you would always get that sense of motivation. You'll feel so motivated, to be going to the gym, to be doing your cardio and doing your 10K steps. But then as that motivation drops, you end up like, oh yeah, Bundes, I'm not gonna continue because I'm just not motivated at all. And then what happens after that? You just go back to how you first started, and hence you're back to square one. So when it comes to cutting, do not rely on motivation, rely on discipline, because motivation comes and goes. Discipline is what helps to keep you going. So that's another reason why most men always fall off their plans. They fall off their plans for those first two reasons I just mentioned, which is one, because they keep eating off plan. They keep going to this event. They don't say no to these foods. They try to, they eat off plan to please other people, when in reality they don't really care. Your friends actually don't care. You think they do, but they don't care whether you're on plan or not. I can tell you that for a fact. So now you can still go to these events, but if you're going to go to these events, then don't eat off plan. Think about what the man would do here. Let's say if you're someone that goes to a cafe in the morning with your friends, yeah. Think about what the man would do here. What would the man do? They would order themselves the black coffee, or they would just not order anything. They would just, just drink water, or have their meal prepped meal that they meal prepped and bring it with them. Same way how, I always meal prep right before my shifts, as you see from my series within the short videos. If you haven't seen it anyways, go check that out. I always meal prep on the weekends because I've got 2 shifts within the weekend, on Saturday and Sunday. And then I always meal prep in advance. And this is something that the man would do. What the man would do is when they're on the plan, they would always meal prep their foods. So that they don't end up ordering food outside, having their takeaways, having their processed foods. And instead they can just rely on their meal prepped meals to ensure that they still stick to their plan and they do not eat off plan. So time's not your issue, your lack of preparation is, I promise you. In general, think about what the man would do, if you end up going to these events. And this is why not a lot of fitness influencers say this, but they don't say that about the physique. It's more about the man you need to become. Because think about what the man would do whenever they go to these events, or to go to a coffee shop. What would they do? They would do something smarter. They would order, they would eat their meal prepped meal instead of ordering what's in the menu. So yeah, but obviously if you don't want to go to that dinner event, if you don't feel invited to go to it, then don't go to it. Just say no. Simple as that. So yeah, that's the first reason. They which is why you need to stop. Do not eat off plan, because it will slow down your progress. And along with the second reason, which is rely on motivation and you don't rely on discipline, because discipline is what helps you to keep going. Because like I've had days within my car where even yesterday I couldn't be asked to do 40 minutes of cardio. Even during my cardio session, I was a bit fatigued physically and mentally too. But I still got that thing done. I got that shit done because that's how bad I wanted it. I didn't rely on motivation. I relied on discipline. I made this realization that I had to accept that there's going to be some days where I'm not going to feel like doing my cardio. I'm not going to feel like going into the gym. I'm not going to feel like eating this meal. Eating this meal that's part of my meal plan. And, obviously having the discipline to, not eat your favorite foods. Eat your mom's cooking, your favorite processed foods, your favorite junk, your favorite this, your favorite that, and then instead you'd just stick to the meal plan. That's what you do. That's part of discipline. You eating the same foods daily. That's part of discipline. At the start you might feel motivated to be eating these same meals, but you might be having days where you're just gonna feel bored. You'll end up feeling boring. Now, don't get me wrong, you can still make minor adjustments. You can still fit in your favorite foods within your macros, but you're just more likely going to mess up if you do it that way. And if you're the type of person that, tries to fit in their favorite foods, but then they just ends up for them going up their calorie goal, then it's best to avoid that. So yeah, that's why, those are the two reasons why most men would always make progress for several weeks and then they would fall off. Now, the third reason why this happens is not because of the meal plan, not because of your meal plan is boring, not because you're not disciplined enough. It's because of you, simply because of you. Because I promise you, getting lean is so easy. It's so easy that you guys always overcomplicate it. If you're someone that keeps switching up meals, switching from this meal to this meal, because the meal plan works. It's just your daily decisions that makes you either, stay on plan, make progress, but you don't end up making progress instead. So it's simply because of you, your poor mind. So this is why it's very important when it comes to cutting, because they say this a lot, like cutting is more of a mental game than the physical game. Why? Because of the challenges that comes within cutting. You can your mind. I experience this a lot as well, but there's this kind of event that you may experience during the cut, which I always experience, is your mind just thinks about all about food, all about these processed foods that you love. But if you have a strong mindset, then you will easily be able to control that. You just deal with the pain, deal with just firm it, because realistically you're not going to do this forever. So if you just suffer now, you won't have to suffer the rest of your life. And that's why they say get lean once and never get fat again. So it's simply because of your poor mind. You need to fix your mindset first. You need to ensure that your mindset gets fixed and you're mentally prepared for this cut. Once your cut starts, which must be started, which there's no perfect time to start, obviously. So if you're still fat, if you're still out of shape, and you're deciding to do it right after summer, then don't do it right after summer. Start now. See, that's because of your poor mindset. You think there's a perfect time, but there's no perfect time to start. So that's why it's very important to fix your mindset, because if you lose your mind, I promise you won't. It's gonna make it harder for you to get lean. So yeah, make some mindset shifts, build your mind up before you focus on creating yourself that meal plan, doing the tactical side of things. So yeah, it's not the meal plan, it's because of you. Remember that. To summarize within this video, the 3 reasons why people struggle to lose fat, and they would make progress for several weeks and then they go back down. And take this from me as well. It's simply because they rely on discipline. They rely on motivation instead of discipline. It's because of their poor mindset, and it's because they don't stick to the plan. You simply can't stick to the plan. You skip your gym sessions. You skip your cardio. You skip your, you eat off plan. You just end up falling off your plan in general. So it's very important when it comes to cutting is to stick to your plan. Don't eat off plan, and fix your mindset, have a strong mindset, and fight through the pain. Do it even if you don't feel like it. Obviously listen to your body. But if you know for yourself that you're still capable of doing it, you're not completely like messed up. Like, you know, you're not extremely sore. You're not sore at all. You know, your legs are still, you know, you're still capable to walk. Then obviously still do that cardio even if you don't feel like doing it. So yeah, don't give up, stick to your plan. Even if you don't see any progress for the first 2 weeks, stick to the plan, keep going. I promise you the results will come. You just need to stay consistent. That's it from me. If you have any questions, drop it down in the comments. If not, then the fact that you watch this video is good enough for me. I'll see you lot in the next one.